If you have a smaller home project that needs attention, Ace Handyman can help you out with that. Part of the Ace Hardware family, they handle everything from gutter cleanings, Christmas light installations, deck repairs, any home project that takes between 2 hours and 2 days. With over 1,400 5-star Google reviews, Ace Handyman will connect you with a local licensed general contractor who's been background checked, bonded, and insured by Ace. Plus, they offer a 1-year warranty. To book your appointment, head over to acehandymanservices.com. That's acehandymanservices.com. If you have kids in your life, make plans to bring them to the Northwest Children's Theater production of The Wizard of Oz, opening the weekend after Thanksgiving. With a shortened runtime, this youth edition version of the timeless musical is the perfect way to introduce young theatergoers to the world of Dorothy, the Tin Man, and all your favorite characters. Make magical memories at the theater this season. The Wizard of Oz runs November 29th through January 4th at the Judy in downtown Portland. Get your tickets at nwcts.org. That's nwcts.org. Today on CityCast Portland, we're trying out 3 new cookbooks written by some of the biggest stars in Portland's food scene. Renowned chefs Joshua McFadden of Ava Gene's, Cathy Whims of Nostrana, and Tyler Malek of Salt and Straw. Producers Giulia Fiaoni and John Notarianni are joining me in recounting our successes and failures attempting their recipes. We'll also be talking through how easy they were to follow, if we even liked the food we made with them, and if the books themselves would make a good holiday gift. And if you stick around after, you'll hear Destiny Wigner from the Watermark by the Pearl join me for a very short sponsored chat about how they're redefining senior living. It's Tuesday, November 25th. I'm Clauda Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Well, you guys, how's everyone doing?
Doing good. I think we've all had an interesting week of kitchen experiments. Sounds like to varying degrees of success.
Oh, man. Well, before we get started, I want to take a temperature check of how comfortable all of us are in the kitchen. So people know, like, what big of a deal this might have been to some of us, you know? So how much cooking do you guys usually do at home?
So I learned to cook pretty young. I learned from my mom. It was kind of an expectation from a young age to help out, at least. But it was always really simple, rustic, like Italian dishes. And I continued that through my young adulthood, but it fell off when I moved into a studio because the kitchen was so tiny. It was so frustrating every time. But I've moved recently and I have a big old kitchen with a gas stove. So this is coming right at the time where I'm just getting back into cooking. So kind of like dusting off the cobwebs a little bit. But yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, John?
I do a lot of home cooking. I like to cook. I have for a long time. And my partner actually used to own a sort of high-end restaurant. So she is an extraordinary cook. So generally speaking, a lot of cooking at home. But as we'll get into, this was a type of cooking that I've never done in my life before. So there were definitely some mishaps.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like I'm like medium, you know, kitchen proficient. Like I've made bread, I've made pastries, I've actually made a few components that I struggled with in this recipe before in my life. Like I've made these things, but I think my kitchen is very small. Like you guys have heard about all the renovations that have been happening in my house. And so right now my kitchen is a little on the tiny side. I don't have all of the things laid out. But Giulia, let's start with you. I'm feeling a positive story here. So
it's a little bit of everything.
Okay. So you dug into a new cookbook by Chef Joshua McFadden. Now, he wrote an Italian cookbook, right?
A little bit of backstory here. And I love this detail that I've learned just from spending quite a bit of time with 2 of his books now. So his recent book was 6 Seasons of Pasta, but my partner's mom gifted me 6 Seasons of Vegetables a couple years ago. So I'm pretty familiar with his form. So Chef Joshua McFadden, he's most known for being the executive chef and owner of Ava Gene's, which is a popular Italian restaurant on Southeast Division. But he's also the founder of Submarine Hospitality in Portland, and he's currently restoring an old farm in Springdale, Oregon, to be used as kind of like a food haven. So he's doing a lot. But the funny thing is he's most known for Ava Gene's, but he's not actually Italian. So he grew up in Wisconsin eating pasta made by his German grandmother. He just has always loved pasta. And the thing that I love about McFadden's books is his obsession with cooking with seasonal ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
His argument is that there's actually 6 seasons instead of 4, and he lays them out as winter, spring, early summer, midsummer, late summer, and fall. And he splits summer up in those 3 ways because he wants to account for the many waves of peak produce in the summertime. So he's written 3 cookbooks with this approach: the vegetable, the pasta, and for grains. But this pasta book, I feel like, really hits another level. I'm just so excited about it.
So what's the new book like? I want to hear like the vibe, general recipes.
Break it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this came out less than a couple months ago, and it breaks down the best pasta dishes for the 6 seasons, focusing on the best produce to pair with those pasta dishes and just seasonal flavors. From the start, the thing that's interesting about it is that his recipes are fairly approachable. It's not like you're making like the craziest, like most inventive, most obscure dishes. The thing that's challenging is that he's asking you to reconsider really, really simple things in a different way. And he breaks it down to the tiniest detail. So like how to boil your pasta differently so that it's a component of the dish that really transforms it. And for someone who's been cooking Italian food, specifically pasta, my entire life, I get kind of like bristly about it. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, that's not how you do it. But when I do it, I'm like, oh, this is how you actually do it. It's been kind of a funny learning curve for me. Just the walls of text that he includes can be kind of intimidating. And you do have to pay attention to detail, like salting the pasta water with a specific salt brand. And if you use a different salt, he gives you a different measurement.
Oh, that's funny.
And it had happened once before where I doubled the salt measurement basically, and it was the saltiest pasta I've ever made. And I was like, oh, because I'm using a different salt. And it's laid out here in this chart, but like 30 pages prior. So you have to pay attention to those like footnotes. But my favorite thing about this book is that it specifically focuses on dried pasta. This is not making pasta from scratch. So it's super affordable, really accessible. And I think it just gives you an opportunity to just jump right in.
So what did you end up cooking?
Yeah, so I wanted to stick with the season. So I went with the fall recipes and I picked the charred with sausage and whipped ricotta recipe. And this was a challenge for me because I've never made a cream sauce with pasta before.
Oh.
This was a totally new approach to making a sauce. But I also thought it would be easier. I was not entirely correct about that. So the thing that really tripped me up, the whipped ricotta part really got to me. And that's because I don't have a food processor. And sometimes that can be the challenge. It's like, I'm going to come up with some alternative way to get this ricotta whipped. And initially I was like, oh, I'll just like whisk it really hard and like really put some elbow grease into it.
I'll become the food processor. That's my solution.
And then I was like, this might take an eternity. So instead, I put the ricotta in a big plastic like mixing bowl for baking. And I got my little hand mixer revved up. So I'm just going to play you a clip of what my kitchen sounded like last night.
All right.
All right, trying the whipped ricotta again. Here we go. Oh, dear God. It's impossible.
Highly relatable.
I'm also imagining a bunch of white little specks all over your face.
Yeah. All over the place.
all because I know exactly what you went through. Bookmark that feeling.
Yeah. It was going everywhere. It wasn't getting whipped. It felt impossible. And at that point I was like, you know what? We're putting this aside and we're doing the old elbow grease. So I spent probably about like 20 minutes just really hitting it hard. And I got it to a point where I felt like it was whipped enough. But that was the only sticking point, really. I think my proportions of like sausage and pasta and cheese were a little bit off just because he is a bit more vague with how that should look in the way that he describes it, you know? So I was like, you know what? Whipped ricotta aside, maybe I need to get a food processor at some point. This was a really solid meal.
Yeah. So would you make that recipe again?
I think I would. I would say it's really heavy. Like, that's all I needed. I didn't need a side salad or anything. It's like sausage, Swiss chard, like cheese, like really comforting. So I would plan on that being the only thing. But yeah, it was great. It was really comforting and really filling.
Who would you recommend this cookbook to? Because now I'm feeling intimidated if you're just like, I have all this experience.
Barely.
Yeah. and you were struggling. So like, who do you think this cookbook would be like the perfect gift for?
So I thought about this one a lot. And for whatever reason, I immediately thought of my little sister. I think because she's about to be graduating college, really does love cooking and cooks pasta a lot because it's cheap. So I think this would be a good opportunity for her or someone like her, a newly graduated college student looking for something new, something to kind of push in the direction of eating a little bit healthier and getting to enjoy cooking in a new way. Again, it is challenging, so not for a student that wouldn't be interested in that challenge, but I think it meets them in the right moment.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, John, I want to hear about your experience.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I don't know about you, but for me, the most uncomfortable part of a Northwest winter is all the microclimates we are subjected to in a single day. You can go from freezing cold to muggy and warm, sometimes all in the same bus ride. And I know our mantra is to dress in layers, but I now have a new addition, Performance Denim by Doer. They're made with Cool Max, which regulates your body temp and wicks moisture on those longer commutes. And they're antibacterial, meaning your jeans stay fresh longer. Plus, they look sharp and are really comfortable. They're actually made for you to ride your bike in. Doer opened up a store in Northwest Portland, so you can grab a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. And if you mention our promo code CCPDX, it'll get you 15% off your first order in-store or online. Just head to their store on Northwest 23rd or to their site, shopduer.com/CCPDX. They're also holding a Black Friday sale from November 28th to December 1st, so that might be the perfect time to pop in. For more info, go to shopduer.com/CCPDX. All right, John, so you dug into a new cookbook by Salt and Straw's co-founder, Tyler Malek.
Yeah, ice cream cookbook, ladies and gentlemen. This is... Who knew, right? So this is Salt and Straw, America's Most Iconic Ice Creams, co-written by Tyler Malek, who is the co-founder, also calls himself the head ice cream maker of Salt and Straw. If for some reason you live under a rock and don't know Salt and Straw, they are like the Portland boutique ice cream maker, even though they're not that boutique anymore. They have locations all over the country. Joe Biden ate their ice cream, and they are known for like pretty crazy and wild flavors, right? I think the last time that I talked about Salt and Straw on this show was the occasion of their matcha and chocolate covered cricket ice cream. You remember this?
Oh, yeah.
In addition to making all of this beautiful and sometimes unhinged ice cream, they do have a couple cookbooks. This is actually his second book. It came out earlier this year. And the thing that's fun about this cookbook is that, like, instead of going completely off the deep end, doing some of their more wild, like bone marrow flavored ice cream or whatever, they anchor this in like the most famous fundamental flavors. So like there's like a chapter on vanilla and then variations on vanilla. There's a chapter on strawberry, on chocolate. But for me, as somebody who's cooked a lot, but I've never made ice cream before in my life, it was fun to just sort of like figure out the process of how you do make ice cream. And I kind of found it was like more akin to baking than cooking, you know? It's sort of like baking in reverse because you have to like get these really careful balances of different ingredients and then put them in the ice cream maker.
In a certain order, right?
In a certain order, and just like turn it on and be like, well, I'll find out if this worked in a half hour or so.
So for sure you need an ice cream maker.
Yes.
That's a big duh. Okay, just wanted to make sure. I'm like, so Giulia couldn't just whip this up.
With my elbow grease.
So this was the other thing I didn't quite wrap my head around when I agreed, like, sure, I'll take on the ice cream cookbook. Ice cream is a multi-day process. You can't just like start at 6 and have it ready for dinner. I did have to go and find an ice cream maker. So I jumped on Facebook Marketplace and drove out to Tigard to this random house and bought an ice cream maker off like a very nice older couple. then had to do all the shopping because there's so much stuff that goes into it that like I just didn't have on hand. I'm sure most of us don't have on hand. You know, dried milk powder,
Dang.
dark molasses, xanthan gum, you know.
All the things in the back of an ice cream that you're always just like, what's
What is
xanthan gum?
this?
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
you found out.
All of their recipes use xanthan gum as part of their base. And it's also like a multi-step process where you make like the base, then have to chill that for a day, and then go back and make the ice cream. So like on Saturday, I was making the bases. On Sundays, I was making the actual ice cream, but I had to like take an extra step in between.
Yeah. Was this easy to follow? Like, could a person who is lactose intolerant, does not own a ice cream maker, would I be able to follow these recipes?
Yeah. So here's the thing, like a basic ice cream, pretty simple. And they do have some really
Okay.
great vegan ones as well.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's basically like you make a base, which is going to be like cream, sugar, a couple additives, sort of simmer it on a pot, let that chill overnight. And then you just add that in the ice cream maker with a couple other things. So you can do it real simple. There were some recipes that involved making a lot of other components to go into it. And that's where it gets really complicated. So maybe
Like
I
a
should
roast dinner?
so like maybe I should get into like some of the ones that I made.
Yeah.
I made a chocolate ice cream with homemade chili peanut butter cups.
Oh my gosh.
So this was another like multi-step process. I had to like, you know, melt chocolate, make a like chili peanut sort of filling, put another layer of chocolate on it and freeze it to like make these little peanut butter
You
cups.
actually made peanut butter
That's
cups.
so
And made peanut butter
Wow.
cups that you then mix into the ice cream later. So like those sorts of steps can get really complicated.
So you did two recipes.
I did
You
three recipes.
Okay, so tell me about your recipes. Tell me why you chose them.
So, okay, three recipes. One, I wanted something like simple, classic, went for like a classic French vanilla. So that was sort of like the base one. I wanted something a little bit more wacky and like, you know, a lot more involved. And that's why I went for the chocolate with like sort of chili pepper peanut butter cups. And I wanted to try one of the vegan ones as well. So I did like a vegan hazelnut chocolate cookies and cream one,
Oh,
which I think might have been my favorite.
Oh.
really?
It was so good. You make it with like a coconut cream base.
Mhm.
And that was another one. They gave you instructions to like make your own Oreos if you wanted. I was like, I'm good.
You were like, I'm gonna step back
I'm
on that
already
one.
like 9 ingredients. And like, that's the other thing. To buy all of this like random stuff was actually pretty expensive. I definitely spent over $100 on like
Oh, wow.
ingredients,
Yeah,
you know,
wow.
and I have a lifetime supply of xanthan gum. I have a lifetime supply of dry milk powder at this point. If anybody needs to borrow some, I'm your guy.
I also just love that we're heading into winter, that it's not ice cream season at all.
I have so much ice cream in my freezer.
Oh
It's-
man. Well, who would you recommend this cookbook to?
I mean, here's the other thing. Like, it takes a lot of specialized gear. You need to get an ice cream maker, and then you have like a bunch of ice cream. I could see this being like so much fun for like a family project or for like a special event. And like, I don't know if you've ever used an ice cream maker. It's actually great to watch because it kind of swirls around and you get to slowly like watch it come together. So even the
Oh.
act of like watching it, you know, quote unquote, cook is really fun. So like for a party, I think this is a great idea. Am I going to be like whipping up a batch of ice cream on like Tuesday night to go with dinner? Probably not anytime soon.
Well, this also seems like a great cookbook for someone who freaking loves salt and straw. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your breakdown. Let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you how it went with my cookbook. I dug into Cathy Whims' new and actually first cookbook. She is the founder and the head chef of Nostrana. And she's been in the Portland food scene for a long time. And a lot of people see her as sort of like the mother or the grandmother of what our food scene is now. Nostrana is considered like a foundational institution in how Portland recognition went national.
Yeah, a ton of James Beard nominations,
Oh,
right?
yeah. She's 6-time James Beard Award nominee. Not only that, she was taught by Marcella Hazan, who is considered to be the woman who brought like authentic Italian food to America. So this cookbook, this is what's interesting about this cookbook. It is supposed to transport you to a summer in Italy. We are in November.
In mid-November. How'd that go?
Exactly. So a lot of the things in the cookbook were not in season. So I had to be creative. But this is what's crazy. The day that I was like, okay, I need to like narrow down a recipe, I went to Portland Monthly's party to celebrate their newest release. We're celebrating the 25 restaurants that have made Portland's food scene. They had their party at Nostrana. So I got to, well, like next door, you know, their little wine bar. I got to talk to some of the Nostrana chefs and I was like, you guys, what recipe should I make? And they picked one for me. They said, you should make the aioli baked halibut.
Oof.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, that's easy. And they're like, so easy. And they're like, and so delicious. And I was like, all right. And then they're like, and of course, you know, you should maybe the insalata Nostrana, which is Nostrana's signature salad. And before I tell you how that went, I just want to tell you a little bit about the cookbook. If you open this book, it's beautiful. There's a lot of watercolors. I think that she writes very simply in like a very just like kind of grandma way where you're, you know, where she's like, salt it to your taste. There wasn't, so you were talking about Joshua McFadden being like, this amount of salt, I would have appreciated some of that, just to be honest. But I get, you know, salted to your taste is also fine. She also gives really great swaps. Like, hey, if you don't have this, you could use this. It's not a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
What I didn't like about it is that there were no pictures of the dishes. And so I had to Google a lot of the stuff. Like, what is this supposed to look like? I mean, I don't want like step-by-step pictures, but I didn't even know like what an aioli baked halibut looked like before or after. Do you know what I mean? Like, how much aioli am I supposed to put? So anyhow, again, when I went in real confident, you guys, because I've made aioli. It's mayonnaise, and I've made it. I stopped making it, though, because I once tried to make it with an olive oil base, which is what she's suggesting, and it came out so acrid. And what's so beautiful is in the book, it told me why. And it's like, if you make this in a food processor, the olive oil is going to turn out really bitter. And I was like, oh, this is good to know because that's how I used to make it. She's like, so I suggest hand whipping your aioli base, which, Giulia, you know, that's ridiculous. It is so hard.
It felt ridiculous.
So this is how that went. I have a little tape from that moment.
I'm a little concerned because my mayonnaise feels, or it just looks like it might be a little too goopy. Like, this doesn't look like mayonnaise. This looks more like yogurt, I think. You know? I don't know. I'm a little concerned.
You sound concerned.
I was, my entire plan for the night was crashing down at that moment, you guys. Because literally the only component of this dish is this garlic aioli I'm supposed to whip up. And it was taking me over an hour to get this aioli, like, to congeal. It just felt like lumpy liquid. What I ended up doing was using like a mechanical whisk. And then again, really wonderful little note from Cathy. She's like, hey, if your hand gets tired, blend in a neutral oil. So I did. I blended in a neutral oil and then I just whisked the crap out of it. And lo and behold, the mayonnaise started to form. But in between that, you guys, you don't understand. I had invited my partner. I said, dinner's at 7 because it's going to take me 15 minutes to make this aioli. And then I'm going to feed you. And then during that hour of start, stop, and me being like, holy shit, this is not happening. I just was like, well, I already have some pre-made meatballs. I just bought some beautiful ravioli from the, farmer's market. I'm just going to cook this up. And I was like, yeah, first course, possibly the entire meal.
Possibly
so
the only course.
So I started cooking a second meal while I was whipping this aioli. So I had a backup meal. The other thing, John, I think I told you is that I was supposed to do like a taste test because she asks for halibut. At first, I couldn't find any. And all I found was black cod. And she also wrote, hey, if you have black cod or ling cod, like go for it. Those are easier fishes to find. But then I went to New Seasons, found some halibut. When I was in there getting some dry mustard for the aioli, bought some. So I was like, well, now I have 2 fishes. We'll do a little taste test. Unfortunately, the halibut smelled like ammonia.
Oh.
When I opened
dun,
it,
dun,
you know what I
dun.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, so again, was very happy about the ravioli. That was, so it was just black cod, aioli baked black cod. Put it in. It literally takes like 15 minutes maybe to bake. It came out, and I got to tell you, it was one of the most succulent whitefish dishes I've ever had in my life. And I made it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I would definitely recommend this cookbook. I don't know if it's, you have to wait till the summer. There's some pretty cool recipes in there. And I got to tell you, the surprise was the insalata nostrana because it asks for you to use radicchio. My partner hates radicchio. I'm not a big fan. But the book said, hey, soak this for a couple of hours, which I did. And that'll take out some of the bitterness. Because when I first tried it, I was like, this is inedible. I can't eat this. I can't feed this to a loved one. And then 2 hours later, I've tasted it and I was like, this isn't that bad. Still a little bitter, but not bad. And so I mixed it in with this herb salad that I had, but it was so delicious. It was perfect. The one thing I did skip is the croutons because I'm a weirdo and I do not like croutons.
Okay, neither do I.
I wasn't about to make focaccia just to make croutons. You know what I mean?
I'm not a croutons person either. People are obsessed with them. I'm
I
like, nah.
know. John, do you like croutons?
Y'all are fools. Croutons are incredible. Good croutons, not like the crunchy hard ones that you get on
Yeah.
a
Sure,
salad, but
sure, I
like a
can see
really
that.
beautiful fresh bread, sort of slightly crisped in the oven, so it's a little bit crunchy on the outside, but still has some softness on the inside. Oh, I will take your croutons. Next time we have a beautiful salad like that, just put them on my plate because I will eat them all.
Great, I will. I will give them to you. But yeah, I really enjoyed the process. It actually did teach me a lot. So I would recommend this cookbook, of course, to anyone who loves Nostrana and anyone who wants to up their game a little bit.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm definitely going to make another recipe from this book for sure. And I'm hoping that people listening, if any of these books, if any of these recipes, if you're curious, we have an amazing food scene. These chefs are from Portland and they all released these books this year. So if you know anyone in your life who might want a new cookbook for the holidays, I mean, here are 3 examples. There are more, right, John?
I mean, yeah, there are definitely more cookbooks by local chefs that have come out this year. And there's more that are coming soon. Like Gregory Gourdet has a new cookbook that's going to be coming out in early 2026. So maybe once the next round comes out, we'll have to
we'll do a part
another
2.
round. And
yeah, we'll be older and wiser and our arms will be stronger. So
Yes.
And if anyone needs to borrow any xanthan gum, hit me up because I have so much of it.
Oh, well, thanks you guys for hanging out. I'm really excited that we did this. This is the first type of episode of this, come with me as I struggle in the kitchen.
Yeah, let's do this again. I love this.
And in just a second, Destiny Wigner, the community life director at the Watermark by the Pearl, will be joining me for a short sponsored chat to tell us more about their senior living community. Well, for folks who have not heard of the Watermark at the Pearl, what makes it such a special community in your opinion?
The Watermark at the Pearl is, it's definitely an extraordinary building. It is beautiful. It is set in the Pearl District, which is just a beautiful village-like setting with lots of options of things to do and eat and shop. You've got all those cultural and sporting events and so much more. But inside the community, you also have all those same incredible things. We have world-class dining experiences for our members and our guests. We have a beautiful, elegant, fine dining signature restaurant called The Mark. It's on the 4th floor, and I have to say, it is on par, if not better, than Portland City Grill. If you're looking for your more traditional home cooking fare, we've got a restaurant called The Seasons, and it's all-day dining, and, food is comfort. And then
Yeah.
we've got a gallery cafe, which is a nice spot to grab like breakfast and lunch and enjoy artisan coffees. And then we've got the W Lounge, which is a great place to enjoy like live entertainment and cocktails, a wonderful spot to get luncheon items. And the happy hours are phenomenal.
Wait, Destiny, did I hear you right? Did you say happy hour?
Oh, yeah. We have happy hours 7 days a week.
Well, you've just described to me. It sounds like a cruise. And I want to go. Like, I'm starting to feel jealous. Like, I'm like, I want to live here. Like, do you have some for approaching middle age?
I wish I would sign up immediately.
Right? So cool. Well, what kinds of activities or programs seem to bring everyone together? Like the ones that you think, yes, this is what it's all about.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's what I love about the members here. They are party animals, but they also love, like on the other spectrum, they love the educational components and like the personal growth.
Yeah.
So like we had our Halloween party. It was 2 hours straight of the dance floor was full with residents rocking out
Whoa.
to a full band doing like the 60s and 70s covers and classics. They were hooping and hollering, having a good time. And then the next day, we had the Oregon Ballet come in to do kind of the history of the program and have the students come and present. And it was like watching the full
Wow.
spectrum. And both events, there wasn't a seat available, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Our residents also are just big on traveling. They love to get out and do stuff. We're getting ready to head up to Seattle for a 3-day weekend. We're going to do a train ride.
Wait, there's field trips?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're getting
Destiny,
ready.
sign me up. Like, I'm so... Okay, go on. Sorry, I shouldn't be jealous. Go on.
don't worry.
This sounds
It's all
great.
good.
This sounds great. Yeah, great. 3-day weekends. That
Well,
sounds
and
awesome.
what's exciting about it is this is something that the members sat down and they said, this is what we want to do, make it happen.
Mhm.
And so that's what we do. Sky's the limit. So they're going to spend time up there. We've got it's kind of like a 3-compartment trip, all encompassing. So
Mhm.
our folks that are really into sporting events are going to go and enjoy that, while our arts folks are going to head over to the Sam Basile Art Museum, and our foodie group are going to do this amazing VIP behind the scenes tour of the Pikes Market.
Oh, okay. Are they going to be able to catch a fish?
They might.
Oh, man.
I just don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And I imagine this is just like, you're just skimming the top. Like this is just one trip of
Yeah.
many that happen. That's so cool. Well, any stories about seeing residents' relationships with one another grow? Because I'm imagining that some of the hesitation too. With some people, it's like, I'm not going to know anyone. I'm going to be alone. You know, that kind of thing.
What's really neat here is our residents become family to one another. We do a champagne toast to greet our new residents.
Aw.
And we just had one this morning. A lady who's been here, I think about 4 days, she comes up to me and she goes, I can't stay long. I'm meeting my friends. We're going to head up to the sound bath event. And then we have bridge. And then we have lunch in the W. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like you have a busy day. And she's like, yeah, I got to go.
Does she take her champagne?
She did. She took her. And she's like, I got it.
She's like, we'll take the bottle. We'll take the bottle.
Yep.
Okay, great. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, man. This makes me so happy to hear about a community like this because you hear the opposite so often.
Yeah.
People walking out of their facilities, you know, just stuff that shouldn't be happening. So it's so wonderful to hear someone get it so right. And also the Pearl, like, man, that's a great neighborhood.
Right.
You know, that's a nice, safe neighborhood. That's where I would want my family to retire if they were able to, for
Mhm.
sure.
I think for seniors, it can be scary to transition out of your own home or
Yeah.
your own apartment. But senior living is an opportunity to be able to really relax and invest in yourself and enjoy being retired. And knowing that there'll be a community of like-minded and age folks that understand your experience and want to welcome you with open arms.
Do you have like a Korean community of any sort? Just asking for a friend.
We actually do.
Do you really?
I think because of our location, we have just a really cool spectrum of just all different types of walks and folks with different backgrounds. And I've been in senior living for 16 years and I haven't seen diversity on this level.
Yeah. And so like people from the outside can come through and just like peek around.
Absolutely.
Yay. Okay. Thank you, Destiny.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And you can learn more about Watermark at the Pearl by visiting portlandwatermark.com. We're going to have a link for you in our show notes, so you're just a click away. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you so much for listening. Just a quick note that we will be off Thursday and Friday for the holiday, but you can still tune in tomorrow for a very special all-host episode. Our podcast production team this week was John Notarianni, Giulia Fiaoni, Shannon Lynch, Selena C.A. Reynolds, Noah Snyderman, and myself. Our Hey Portland newsletter editor is Rachel Monahan, and our host is me, Clauda Meza. Original music by Jenny Conley and Stephen Drizos. Additional music by Carl Christensen and all the Kimonos, as well as Sarah the Instrumentalist, Timothy Infinite, and Gregory David, courtesy of Epidemic Sound. We also have Opal 99 and D-May, courtesy of Triple Scoop Music. Again, we're off for the holiday on Thursday and Friday, but we'll be back Monday morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.